There's nothing like cracking that cellophane and pulling that record out. It just smells great.
Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
I love the show, guys. You're awesome.
Unlike any other.
With your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father.
Man, this stuff rocks.
Hey guys, this is Chris of Ahab, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bod Father. And as always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a huge privilege to have Christian Hector, guitarist of Ahab. German nautical funeral doom heavyweights Ahab just released their first live album entitled Live Pray via Napalm Records, recorded at Death Row Fest 2017 in Jena, Germany. So you also want to check out their first single off the Live Pray album, Ode Thunder. And this is one of their songs that's on here, and great song, actually. If you like slow, funeral, doom, and just downright heavy grooves, then Ahab is the band for you. And trust me, you want to check them out. So, Chris, welcome to the show. And, man, I'm excited for this live album.
Thanks for having me. Great to be on your show.
Let's jump right into this bad boy. How's it been working with Napalm Records for Ahab?
Oh, well, we've been working with them almost since the beginning of our career. And I already knew Max, the label boss of Napalm Records. Well, we didn't expect much back then when we started out. And so back then he gave us like $500, so euros. And well, it happened to work out pretty well. And I think we sold approximately plus 10,000 albums. So, yeah, they had a good bargain on that one. And ever since, Max is not really into this extreme doom stuff, but he always says, Chris, I don't really understand this music, but you have something, and just do whatever you want to do. And that's really cool from Napalm Records. And they don't bother us with wishes or criticism or something like that about anything within the band. So Napalm is a good choice for us, and they're pretty big nowadays. I think they're the second biggest indie metal label nowadays, so it's good to have them.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing to say for being around for 15 years for Ahab and still being on Napalm Records. That's few far in between these days now, it seems like.
Yeah, well, as I said, back then we didn't expect much, and I think in our second year we found us playing on a really, really big festival in Germany, which is called Summer Breeze Festival. And ever since, we played Canada, for example, or Russia. Actually, we played in Russia, which was totally weird. I remember back then, the day before we met in my kitchen, and the next morning we flew to Moscow, and we were pretty not really anxious, but it was strange to fly over there because you know all the stories. I think the US has even more bad stories about the Soviets than we have in Germany, but it was like a thing to go there. And well, we had so many experiences in these 15 years, and it was great. It was really great. And we're not professional musicians, we're we earn a bit of Ahab, but it's not that much. So it's cool to get to know every, all nations we've been to. Yeah.
When did you guys decide you wanted to release a live album? Was this after the performance? Did you, or had there been discussions of releasing a live album before the Live Pray Festival?
Yeah, I mean, the initial idea was when Walter of Roadburn Festival asked us to play our first album in the whole, and we thought about releasing a live album on that festival actually. But then when we recorded that, our computer with the keyboard playbacks, because we don't play keyboards live on stage, and we don't even have keyboards on our later albums, and the computer just fucked up the playback of the keyboard, so we just couldn't use that one, and so this, yeah, it was gone, the idea, and we played this first album like on two more shows. One show was in Madrid in Spain, and the other one was at Jena on Death Row Fest. And a friend of Cornelius, our drummer, just recorded that without telling us. And after the show, he came over to Cornelius and said, "Hey, guys, I recorded the show. It was great, and here you go. This is your USB stick, and everything's on there." And that was the idea afterwards, to release like a little cassette, like kind of official bootleg cassette on our own. And well, Napalm Records were like, "Well, you can do that, but we want to do like an LP on vinyl, and we were going to do a CD, and we're going to do a proper release." And that's how like this little idea of a bootleg cassette got into something that big.
What's impressed or excited you the most about making Ahab's first live album entitled Live Pray, if anything? Is there anything about it that sticks out for you, possibly, Chris?
Well, I mean, I'm not that big fan of live albums actually, but when Cornelius was really enthusiastic about that one, and we just told him, "Well, go for it, let's do this little cassette thing." And then we heard the album, and most of the stuff Cornelius mixed himself, and we were like, "Wow, that's really a good one." And so the biggest task to do like a live album is like to capture the essence of playing live. I mean, that, you know, it's really hard to capture that, and I think Cornelius did pretty well mixing that one. And I even don't remember that night. Besides, I've seen the band Gold for the first time and really liked them. And it was like an evening with many friends and new guys. And I think that's, for me, the most amazing stuff about this live album, because it brings back all these good memories from that evening.
Now, I know you guys got several albums that's out, but are there any tracks standing out more to you than any right now on the live album? I know it must change every time you listen to it, but are there any that specifically stand out for you? And plus, there's a 17-minute long song, The Hunt, on there. I mean, my God, that's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably that's one of the most important songs for us, besides Old Thunder, because there's one older song which is called The Stream, but we didn't release that on our first album. It was on the demo, and these two songs were the first ones that Daniel and me did together, and it turned out that these two are like still the absolute live hits for Ahab. So The Hunt, we always play live. It's the last song on every concert, and this is one the fans really looking forward to. I think every band has some kind of these songs which they have to play on every show, and The Hunt is really important because it was like, you know, when you start out as the first thing you do as a band in the beginning, it's all like emotion, it's all feeling. You don't have any clue where it's going, and I think The Hunt is the essence of everything we did after that. So, and I never grow tired of playing this particular song because it's just fun to play it on live shows.
Oh yeah, every band has their signature songs that they play live. Even Metallica, you know, all those bands for sure.
Yeah.
Was it hard to choose between the current set of songs, which one would be the first single you wanted to release for this live album, or was it hands down Old Thunder?
Well, I mean, Old Thunder is probably our second signature song, and it happened to be that I mean, we did a video on Old Thunder, and that's just because I mean we don't record every show, and I think we just had the most footage of Old Thunder, so we chose this one as a signature song on the one hand, and of course because we had so much footage on this one, and I mean the video for Old Thunder is a bit like when you mentioned Metallica, like Wherever I May Roam, you know, like a bit of a road video with behind the scenes and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, I think that's why we chose Old Thunder.
There's some new songs on this live album. Does it still challenge or push you guys to come up with something new and stay fresh with Ahab's music in general, man? I mean, because everything changes.
Yes, of course. I mean, I think that's the biggest challenge for every band, unless you're AC/DC, because this is one of the bands that can do like almost the same kind of music all the time, and people love it. But of course, I mean, I think it's like in personal life. You don't want to stay the same person for like 15 years. I mean, you grow as a person, and you want to grow as a musician too, and as a writer. And of course, it's always like dance on razor's edge, like not to go too far away from what you are, so to say, just to stay authentic to yourself and your fans, but then again to get some more new fresh influences into it. And I mean, I think we managed for the last two albums, because I mean the latest album we have which is already like 5 years ago, we introduced a bit like jazzy parts into it, which was for us amazing, and the fans really liked that. So yeah, but I mean, yeah, I don't know yet where the journey will go on the next album, because we're gonna do like an interpretation of Jules Verne, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which needs just different styles of music than like the last album we did.
Okay, folks, I want you to understand that this album was recorded by the festival's in-house sound engineer, who handed Ahab a USB stick, a USB drive, and said, okay, here's your performance. When you guys were going through this, did it click in your head like, yeah, this needs to go on a live album for sure?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's always better if you play live and you don't know that you're recorded, because it's more like more authentic again. And we didn't even know that Corny had this little USB stick. And when we were in the rehearsal room like months later, he told us, and he was like, "Hey guys, listen to that. It's good. I want to do that." And we listened to it, and it was great. And so yeah, I mean, it's really like a funny story to do a live album with. But of course, I mean, well, it worked out, and I like the story behind that live album, because it's just all so like real, so like everyday life. You know what I mean? It's just like something special happening. Yeah,
it's like lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, probably, yes.
So, being around for 15 years, Chris, is it hard now to put a set list together at times? I mean, I know you got your signature songs, but to include songs that's never been played before, has it gotten to that point where it's kind of getting harder now?
Well, actually not, because, you know, we have our everyday jobs, and we're like not that much on the road. So, when we're on the road in a year, normally we have our two kind of sets, which like 80% are in both sets, and we just switch some songs from time to time. So yeah, I mean, I think we could probably do like a new set with songs we never played, actually. So it works out. And it's easier for us because our songs are just so long, and if we play on a festival, we're happy if we can play like 4 songs. Most of the times it's time for a 3 one. So yeah.
But are there any songs that you want to eventually incorporate into a live set personally, maybe that's never been played?
Yeah, I'd love to. There's one song on the last album which is called Mary Madison, The Light in the Weed, which is a very dear song to me because it's about like faith and like being positive and like something like in the end everything will be all right. Although you've gone through like bad times, really bad times, and it's one of the only songs that I wrote on a whole. I mean, the arrangement we did together, but all the riffs on it are from me, and also the lyrics. I write all the lyrics, but this one particular is really dear to me. So that would be a song I'd really love to, and it's also the only song when Daniel just sings with clean vocals.
What do you hope everyone takes away, or message you hope they hear while listening to any of Ahab's music in general? What do you hope they get from it, Chris?
Well, as all of our albums are interpretations of literature, like Moby Dick, for example, or Edgar Allan Poe stuff, I hope that people who know the books recognize the mood of the books in our music. And on the other hand, I hope that people who don't know the books and get to know that we interpreted that or this book would just grab that book and read it and think like, yes, man, that they captured the mood right away. And so that would be like the biggest compliment for me.
What can fans expect at a show from Ahab who have not got to see you guys live as of yet? What are they going to get when they come to see you live?
Well, actually, I mean, the music is so like emotional and so raw and extreme to times. I mean, it's all slow, of course, but it's still extreme music. Our shows are like from a show aspect, pretty like straight away rock and roll. I mean, we don't like put on any costumes. We don't like put on any war paints or something like that. We just go on stage as we are and just let the music do whatever the music does to the audience. And so it's pretty much like straight away rock experience. And I mean, of course, when I'm on stage, almost all of the time I have my eyes shut. So I don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't interact with the audience that much. But I think most of the time, in the parts where like it's really calm and most of the people don't speak, or they just like even keep their eyes shut and just listen to the music and like are into it. So yeah, that's probably what you can expect from our shows.
Okay, so why do you keep your eyes shut? Is it just something that you're just comfortable with and it just fits what you do? Or does it make you that nervous possibly when you see everybody?
Well, it's probably it's partly everything you said. I mean, of course, if the eyes are shut, you're more focused on the music and you are more in the music. And I'm also a bit of a shy guy on stage, yes. So that there are times when I have to ask Stefan, our bassist, how many people were there? Did they like it? Because I hardly looked at them. So yes, that happens too. But yeah, I mean, I'm not that much of. I'm not anxious to go on stage, but I just like to keep by myself in my world. So to say, yeah.
What made you want to become a musician, Chris? What was that spark for you that made you want to say, yeah, I want to try this or maybe attempt this, if you can recall, maybe?
Of course I can recall. I absolutely can recall that. You probably know the film Back to the Future with Michael J. Fox, I guess.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And it was the first scene with the guitar, it was like, whoa, this is great. And then the audition in the high school when janitor says like, oh, it's too damn loud, and he just played like with this black guitar. And of course, I mean, back in the 50s, or I think it was the 50s, when he played Johnny B. Good and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that was like, I want to do that too. And actually, I just bought the guitar in Norway, the original, not the original, but this kind of guitar from 1985, because I just thought, well, I need to have this guitar, and I got it. So I'm really happy. It might arrive like next week or something like that, and then I've got the Marty McFly guitar at my place.
Oh, that's awesome. I remember that movie well. I don't know if it was part 1 or part 2 where he did that huge guitar solo because the guy hurt his guitar playing hand, and everybody just stopped and just looked at him like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah. Yeah. This was the first one, and I even remember when I've been to the movies back then into that film. This was like it's still one of my favorite movies.
Oh yeah, part 1, part 2, I loved them. Part 3, so. It's still a good series, still a good franchise for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think I didn't like the second one too much. I thought back then that the third one was a bit better, but I mean that's all like personal taste, of course.
Since almost everyone is in quarantine from the coronavirus, everybody's getting back out there just a little bit. Do you think concerts and festivals will have the same impact as before with sales and attendance, or do you think this has really hurt it in the long run?
Well, I don't know that. I mean, all big festivals in Germany have been cancelled as in the US and I think everywhere in the world. And we still have slots in October, but we're not sure if these will happen. I mean, at the moment in Germany, it's allowed to play concerts in front of like 100 people. But then again, these people must sit on chairs, and the chairs have to be like 1.5 meters away from each other. So if you play like a small club, I don't know how that will work. Probably you have 20 people in there or 30. So I think we have to cancel these or postpone these concerts. Well, I think as long as there's no vaccine or medicine against corona, I think it will be, I don't know, but I think there won't be any big concerts or something like that. Then again, I don't know, because sometimes like the economics like force politics to allow that. I don't know, but we'll see, I guess. Nobody knows at the moment.
Is there a country that stands out or shocks you that Ahab gets support from, or your music even gets played in that area possibly? Is there one that sticks out for you?
Yeah, there are actually 2 countries where Ahab gets, I think, the most support from fans. That is actually, of course, Germany and the US, actually. Most of the merch we sell goes to the US. After Germany, of course, I mean, because we're like a local band around here. But yeah, it's the US.
Yeah, there's a lot of people over here that like, I don't mean to say like underground in a bad way, but just bands that just bands that we're not accustomed to, that are foreign. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of us don't like the whole big mainstream thing. We like the kind of the guys fighting for it, if that makes sense. So
yeah.
When you were younger, did you have a go-to album or maybe just a song that just allowed you to escape and get away from everything and just made you feel like everything was going to be okay?
Oh, well, I have so many. I mean, when I think of my childhood, I mean, I was so much into Michael Jackson, actually, back then. And well, then in the 90s, when I grew a bit older, I was actually into like the early rap stuff, like Public Enemy and stuff like that.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that was a big thing back then for me. And afterwards, it was like the Nirvana was like a big thing for me back then, which actually I think Nirvana brought me to metal back then. And with the Smells Like Teen Spirit. And afterwards, I mean, I've been listening to so many kinds of music. I was into like The Doors, and later when I got into death metal, like the Scandinavian bands like Entomb, Dismember, but also like the US stuff like Cannibal Corpse and D-Side and stuff like that. And so yeah, I mean, I think music always was like my escape room for if you want to call it that. Yeah, so there's so many music I adore and I like, and I think it changes from year to year. I mean, of course, there's one outstanding album for me that influenced me a lot, and that's probably Entombed's Clandestine album. That was one of my favorites still. I really adore that album.
See, I like how your music taste went from rap to grunge metal, then to death metal. I mean, it's all over the place, and I like hearing stuff like that because you don't just shut your ears off to just one specific group of music. I love that, man.
Cool, thank you.
Folks, Ahab just released their first live album entitled Live Pray via Napalm Records, which was recorded at Death Row Fest 2017 in Jena, Germany. You want to get out and pick this up. So, Chris, how can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy some merchandise, this new live album, tour dates when we get back to doing stuff when we can? How can you do all this, good sir?
Well, Facebook is always like a good address for that. We're on Facebook, and we also, of course, have like a homepage where you can like get all stuff you need, from like T-shirts, patches, and of course like the music. And I think you even can go to stuff like Apple Music, Spotify, you name it. I mean, if you're interested in that kind of music, or just want to check out and say, oh, it's not my cup of tea, that's fine as well. But I think you can get it anywhere, like, for example, on YouTube as well. Like, some videos are up there. Just go out, check it out. Hopefully you like it. If not, it's fine.
And before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Of course. Hey guys, this is Chris of Ahab, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Hour podcast. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link, YouTube link, and all the links that we are associated with. And trust me, we are all over the platforms. Please get out and check out Ahab. They just released their first live album entitled Live Pray via Napalm Records, recorded at Death Row Fest 2017 in Jena, Germany. You want to get out and pick that up, plus pick up their old stuff as well. You will not be disappointed. So, Chris, thank you guys for your music. I really mean that, and just keep on what you're doing, man.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for having us. Have a great day.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.